It's like the whole world is effectively online, and the things which we deal with in the world are now present in the online space. And so we've been working really hard on YouTube to define where we can draw the line on content that's acceptable on the platform, but also then content that is acceptable to advertisers. We've had a really high level of engagement from the industry, working with the WFA, with the biggest advertisers like P&G and Unilever, but also reflecting the fact that we have millions of companies that advertise with us as well. And I think we've made a lot of progress. Actually have zero tolerance for the kind of content that's been in the headlines. Zero tolerance doesn't mean zero occurrence, but it does mean we have to make the best efforts we can. And we publish now a quarterly transparency report that shows the progress that we're making, combining expertise from outside to define policies, people and machines inside to remove harmful content, and then reporting and controls so that advertisers can decide exactly what they want to do. From its very inception, Google was built with user trust at its heart. We've always thought about transparency and control. If you're a user, you want to be informed and in control of your data and how it's used. And so that's something that's fundamental to Google from the very inception. So GDPR actually has those principles at its heart, and I think we'll see similar regulation around the world. And actually, we announced last month that in Munich, in Germany, we've launched our Google Safety Engineering Center. We have engineers there who are building things like Google Accounts, our safety and security products, for everything we do across the world. So safety built by Germans, but made for everyone. And 20 million times a day, people come to the Google account and they look at their settings. You can turn off personalized advertising with a single switch, and you can understand which products and services you've decided to share data with Google, for example, location on maps to make it easier to get relevant results. And I think that's a good way for us to show how it can be done, to give users that control and that information in terms of how data is used. Overwhelmingly, when people go online for the first time, I'm responsible for what we do in Africa, you see the power of a $30 Android smartphone teaching children languages and maths, or helping people to access market prices and build businesses and export. It's an overwhelmingly positive heart of what the web brings 30 years into its history. We're here in Cannes, and if you think about everything you do online today, whether it's reading great journalistic content from The Economist and others, or whether it's gaming or apps or video or social or search or maps, all of those services are either wholly or partly funded by advertising. So you have to put the user first and make sure that they trust and have control over privacy. But if you do that, and you can make advertising that's relevant and useful and not spammy and annoying, then you can have an ecosystem where you have great services that are of high quality, that can make money on their intellectual property, and that users really value. And I think we're committed to that vision because we believe in the open web and the tremendous value it's brought society. First I'd say, think about how you search for information online today. If you're going on holiday, you're probably on a service like TripAdvisor. If you're looking to buy something, you're probably using a service like Amazon. There's a whole range of ways in which people seek and connect with information, and general search is one of them, and we want that to be useful and relevant to as many people as possible. But it's not really the way that consumers go about searching, and it's not really the way that content and brands go about connecting with consumers by the default. So I think it's the wrong way to think about competition, but it is true that we have a real responsibility, given our popularity and our scale, to ensure that we offer people great answers that are relevant and that we're an open platform. And that's what we try to do every day. And you're right, in Europe we get criticized and we get questions asked, and we might disagree with the regulators on some of their theories of harm, but we are here for the long term. We want to be good citizens and seen to be as such, and therefore if we're asked to change and follow different rules, we will do that. We'll respectfully disagree, but we want to engage in the debate, rightly the debate about technology and society, and how we make sure that technology is used overwhelmingly for good for people in their everyday lives. Using the signal of what you're interested in, not who you are, and I think that gives us a powerful way of making advertising that's relevant and useful. So don't think about this through the old world of advertising has to be demographically targeted. Actually, that's a very weak signal. If Because we know, somebody who's interested in this type of music could be anywhere between 16 and 86. So it's a weak signal, whereas things like intent are a strong signal. I think what we do, with publishers and with retailers and brands is encourage them to think about building a first-party relationship with their consumers. If you want a consumer to share information with you, why would they do that? What's the value in that for you? And I think something like Google Maps is a good example. Sharing your location with Google Maps allows you to get relevant information about where you are right now, and it's actually a helpful utility, and people like to do that. Or allows you to store the addresses that are most relevant to you. So I think where you build a relationship around value that's transparent, that's a good principle to start your sort of thinking about data and consumers with.